Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be talking about Legacies episode 5. Crazy. It was crazy. If you guys aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and let's get started. So we know Lizzie got her memory back, and the episode started with Hope sitting in front of the Malivore pit, exercising, living, whatever, and Lizzie comes up and she calls her by her full name because we all know Lizzie got her memory back, and this is like such good news to me. I think it's good news because someone remembers Hope, and I'm glad it was Lizzie, because I feel like if it was Josie, it wouldn't have had the same, I don't know, it wouldn't be the same. I feel like Josie would have been more upset, or not even upset, just secretive and not really letting her know that she has her memory back because of the whole Landon thing. But anyways, back to the Malivore pit. A woman comes out of the Malivore pit dressed in 80s outfit, and she's the keeper. So she basically traps Hope and Lizzie in this game, kind of like, I don't know, she trapped them in this weird game, but she called it a labyrinth. My arm is hurt. She called it a labyrinth. So they're basically trapped in this labyrinth, and everybody seems to be wearing 80s clothes, and they basically keep restarting the game because they keep getting hit by this car and they keep dying. But they find out that this woman is the keeper of the game, and she is wearing this bracelet, and she basically tells them the only way they can get out of this labyrinth is if someone else becomes the keeper of the game, or if they don't want to give themselves to the game or be the keeper, they have to, they'll die basically, but they'll die from her pet. Her pet will kill them, and you find out that her pet is this big monster looking thing that has horns. Creepy, I know. But of course Hope volunteers to give herself to the game and become the keeper, and Lizzie's like, no, that's not happening. We have to get out of here because you have to go tell everyone who you are and tell everyone the truth about what happened in Malivore and remind people that you're Hope. And specifically, she wants Hope to tell Landon and Josie that she's Hope. Landon and Josie. Speaking of Landon and Josie, Josie's organizing the Decades dance, and she has this plan that her and Landon are gonna have the sex after, I don't know why I said the sex, but they're supposed to have sex after the dance. So she has this plan. It's not specifically said that she has this plan, but of course she wants to have sex after the dance. And she looks so gorgeous in her dress, at the dance, so fucking gorgeous. And basically Landon is kind of nervous and jittery about the whole thing because Raph tells him, you know what's gonna happen after this dance, right? You guys are gonna, and he's like, oh, I don't know. And he says, yes, it's definitely gonna happen. So Landon's he goes to what's his name, the black professor, or not even assistant headmaster or assistant to Rick. He was the assistant to Rick. I forgot his name, but he asks him for advice, and he's like, when you get this look, you just know, which is not that great of advice to me, but how do you explain that to someone? But anyway, he just tells Landon, when you get the look, when you guys look at each other, you just know. So Landon takes that advice and he runs with it. And meanwhile, Lizzie and Hope find out that their magic doesn't work in the game. So yeah, they're basically running from this monster, her pet. And Hope's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the keeper. And Lizzie's like, no, you're not. And she hits her over the head. And she goes to talk to the keeper. And she's like, I will become the keeper of the game. Pause on that. Meanwhile, this episode was crazy. Sebastian, let's get back to Sebastian. MG goes to Caleb asking for his help, basically. He's like, do you see this guy that I'm talking to, Sebastian? And it looks to Caleb like MG is talking to himself, and he's like, oh my gosh, my friend's crazy. But then you find out that Sebastian is a desiccated vampire. And the whole time in my head, I'm thinking there's a reason he's desiccated. He's probably a Ripper. And if you guys know what a Ripper is, if you watch Vampire Diaries and the originals, you know that a Ripper is a vampire who just kills and kills. Just kills for the sport. And they have no remorse, no conscience. It's just like their humanity is just not there, basically. They don't care anymore. So in my head, I'm thinking, this guy's desiccated because he is a fucking Ripper. And lo and behold. So the whole time Sebastian is talking to MG, Caleb can't see him, and he's like, I'm in your mind. I need you to help me come back to life. Like, I'm in a box and I'm desiccated. So they go to his body and they're talking. Well, not them, but Caleb and MG go to his body, and MG is like, what happened? Like, why are you desiccated? And of course he manipulates MG, or he tries to manipulate MG. And he's just like, I'll give you anything you want if you bring me back. I'll let you have. As soon as he said Lizzie, he knew he had MJ, because that's the one thing MG wants. Did I say MJ? The one thing MG wants is Lizzie. And so he's like, I'll let you have Lizzie. Like, she's some kind of fucking prize. That's the theme in this episode too. The patriarchy. But let me continue. That was a side note. Basically he's like, you'll have Lizzie. I'll leave this town right away. And that makes MG want to bring him back. But they decide to go to Rick. Well, Caleb decides to go to Rick to ask for advice. So they go to Rick, and Rick is like, I don't think you should bring him back. What's the reason he wants to come back? And there must be a reason that he's desiccated. So Caleb decides to listen to Rick, and he's like, let's just leave him. And so he does something with his own idea. He goes back to the body, and he gives him a little bit of blood so that he has enough energy to like communicate with Caleb. Caleb gives him a little bit of human blood so he has enough energy to get into Caleb's mind, and he tricks guys, I'm not crazy. Caleb tricks Sebastian into telling him the real reason that he's desiccated. And we learned that Sebastian is a fucking Ripper. He was ruthless. He murdered people for sport. He was a Ripper. And so this is when Caleb decides, no, we're gonna leave him in the box. Do not bring him back. But Sebastian, being the manipulator that he is, I guess he gets Wade. He becomes friends with Wade, and I'm guessing Wade brings him back because in the end he has blood on his mouth, so I'm guessing he killed Wade, and he's back out on the prowl. And I feel like Caleb is gonna be his next meal. Well, not even meal, because they're both vampires, but I feel like he's gonna come back and do something to Caleb because Caleb tricked him and deceived him, he said. Those were his words. But anyways, back to Josie and Landon. So Josie and Landon they're at the dance, and Raph, whatever you want to call him, we know for sure now that he likes Hope. He has a thing for Hope. He's he's like, I invited Hope to the dance. I hope she shows up. Have you guys seen Hope? Throughout the whole dance, he's like, have you guys seen Hope? We also learned that Raph has PTSD because, of course, he was not a vampire. Of course, he was a werewolf for so freaking long in the woods that his humanity is like on the border of like not being there, but is there. But he still has like flashbacks, sounds make him jump and wolf out. So we learned that about him in this episode too, which we kind of already knew. Anyways, Raph, PTSD, has a thing for Hope. Landon and Josie looked so cute. And then he was putting the corsage on her arm for the dance. He was fumbling, he was nervous, and she's like, you know, we don't have to dance tonight if you don't want to. And he's like, and we don't have to have sex tonight either if you don't want to. And I'm just like, that's what she meant. So they agree. If they're not into it, they won't do it. It's not a forced thing. It's not a thing that's gonna absolutely happen. So they go to the dance and they're dancing and it's cute. Meanwhile, Lizzie and Hope. Lizzie's knocked Hope out. She goes to the keeper and she's like, I'll be the keeper. The keeper gives her the bracelet, but she finds out there is a condition that Hope is gonna die. She's not gonna make it out. And Lizzie's like, you lied to me. So Lizzie decides to take matters into her own hand and she smashes the bracelet. And she's like, nope, this is not gonna happen. No. And the whole while the keeper is just like, I can't believe you did that. And she's just like, this, and she explains to her the reason that she's stuck in the labyrinth and that this whole thing is even a game or a thing is because of a guy. A guy saw a beautiful woman and she denied him and she wasn't interested and she told him she wasn't interested and he trapped her in the game. So they're like, fuck the patriarchy, fuck guys, we're not here for them, we're not here for their amusement. If we don't like them, we don't like them, we don't owe them anything. Smashes the bracelet, goes back to Hope. Hope is about to get killed by the pet, but he gets shot with an arrow. She's like, oh my god, who did this? Oh my god, you saved me. It's Lizzie who saves her and this guy who has an arrow, Frank. So the pet is the monster. I'm just gonna call him the monster. The monster is down, and so they decide, fuck this, and they kill the monster or the pet, and they immediately get spit out of the game. The old keeper, Lizzie and Hope, and they're back in Mystic Falls, and they're free, and they've discovered a way out of the game, and that they're not meant to be entertainment for a man that, you know, they don't owe anything to these guys. We don't owe anything to these guys. Anyways, I thought that was a good theme in the episode. I enjoyed it. But meanwhile, they go back to the dance, and at the dance, Landon and Josie are having this romantic dance, and they have this beautiful kiss. And of course, Hope sees the kiss because she's always there when they kiss. She always appears out of nowhere when they're about to kiss or when they are kissing. Of course, she sees the kiss, and they give each other the look. Guys, when I tell you they gave each other the look, they gave each other the look. It was a sexy look. It was sexy. They gave each other the look. Guys, I'm swooning. They gave each other the look, and they went off to have sex. And Lizzie just says, Hope, what are you doing? You have to tell them before it's too late. And you know what Hope realizes? She realizes that there's not a specific path for every single person. There's multiple paths. That's what she learns. She learns that. So she doesn't break up their little sexcapade or their dance or the kiss. She lets them go because there's other paths out there for her. And this one just wasn't for her. So they get back to the room. They're getting all hot and saucy. And she's like, do you have a condom? Of course he doesn't have a condom because he's never prepared because this is Landon. So he rushes out of the room and he does this slide across the floor a couple times. And he's like, oh my God, I need condoms. This guy was going to drive off campus to go get some. And he got the key to the, I guess, I'm going to call him the Black Rick. gives him the key to the nurse's station or whatever. He gets a condom. That was a burp, y'all. He gets a condom. And while he's running back with his condom, Josie finds his journal. And in his journal, she flips a couple pages. She sees a song that he wrote about hope. Not sure if the song was dated, like there was a date on it or anything, but she sees the song about hope. And she begins to get teary-eyed. And I feel bad for her, but come on. He was in love with her before he was in love with you. He was in love with you before he was in love. Because we don't know if he's in love with her. So she throws the book back under the bed. And he comes in and he's like, condom. He says something witty and quirky, like a quote from a movie, but it's kind of funny. My little friend or something. And she's just like, is it okay if we don't have sex today? And of course she doesn't say it like that. She's like, is it okay if we don't have sex? And he's like, yeah, that's totally fine. And he's like, you're worth the wait, you're amazing, blah, blah, blah. Kisses her on the neck, and the whole time she's thinking, you wrote a song about hope, bitch. So you can tell she's very upset about it, and she's sad. She's probably like wondering, like, what? Like, you barely know her. Little does she know they were in love. Anyways, so that's the ending with that. Oh, I forgot to give it to... Okay, guys. So, Rick and Josie had this beautiful moment in this episode where he's like... He finds out that she voted him out of, like, as headmaster. And she's like, I did that for you. You wanted us to make the decision for you, and we did. Because basically she was saying they outgrew him. He did a good job while he was there, but they need a supernatural person, basically, to get them going in the right direction. Like, he was a good starter headmaster, and that he was really good at what he did, and he was this amazing headmaster, but it's time for him to have his own life, to date again, and just have his own life, because for so long his life was the girls and the school. He created this good school for these kids with, like, that are monsters. I gotta stop saying that. He created this school for vampires and werewolves for them to be themselves, but now it's time for him to move on with his life and have his own life. I thought that was sweet, but the headmaster is still kind of freaking creepy to me, so he's very creepy. Anyways, so speaking of the headmaster, no, before I even go into the headmaster and Rick, let's go back and revisit Raph and Hope. So Raph is in the forest, and he's still at the party, and he sees Hope, and he's like, oh my God. He's thinking in his head, she's here. So he's like, you want to come party with us? And Hope is like, because she knows the history she has with Raph. Obviously, he doesn't know. And she's like, yeah. And I'm thinking she's thinking about going with the flow, because her and Landon are far from getting back together. So she's like, yeah. And I have a glimmer of hope for Raph and Hope, wanting them to be together, but I also still want her to be back with Landon. But Raph has been through a lot, and I feel like he deserves a little bit of hope. And Hope deserves a little bit of happiness. And I feel like Raph can give her happiness, because right now Landon is not for her. Anyways, so Rick invites the headmaster to drinks. And he doesn't apologize, but he sort of like gives him his support. And he's like, take care of my 2 daughters because I love them. And the school is yours. I'm going to stay out of your way. And basically he tells him that. I'm going to stay out of your way. Rick being the bigger person that he is. And he leaves. But the keeper of the game, the girl that used to be the keeper, she's at the bar. She's having drinks. And the headmaster looks at her. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, okay. And so the headmaster takes off his fucking ring. Guys, he takes off his ring and his face his whole everything completely changes. And you know who he turns into? he turns into Landon's brother, Malivor's son, I believe. I can't remember his name. Ryan. He turns into Ryan. Is it Ryan? He turns into him. And I knew the headmaster was either from Malivore or he was Ryan. I thought he was Malivore maybe. But he's fucking Landon's. He's not fucking Landon's brother. He is Landon's brother. And he basically like consumes the girl and kills her because her blood splatters everywhere. And the bartender's like, he has blood all over his face. And that's how this episode ends. Guys, I freaking told you that the headmaster was either Malivore or someone from Malivore, and I was right on both accounts. Basically Malivore's son. His other son. So this guy is in the school now, and he's the freaking headmaster, so I'm just very like scared to see how this season's gonna go, because he's like in there, he has like full total control, and these people are fucking clueless, and he has full total control of Brick's daughter because he's a master manipulator just like Sebastian. They should team up. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my channel, because every Friday, every weekend, I'm trying for Fridays, but this kind of happened to me. Every Friday there's gonna be videos of the Legacies. I'm gonna start doing Riverdale too. I'm gonna probably release a Riverdale video later today. So there's gonna be Legacies and Riverdale videos. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe if you super duper enjoyed it. And I'll be back. I'll be back next Friday with a Legacies review reaction video, whatever you want to call it, review reaction. And I will be back with the Riverdale's one on Thursdays, because I'm gonna try to do 4 uploads a week. And Mondays and Wednesdays will be my vegan days. Not even vegan, my food days and my fashion days. So subscribe if you're into that. Give a like, comment what you thought of this episode and what you thought of this video, and I will see you guys next Friday, next Thursday, next Monday, and next Wednesday. Bye.